We're good.
Thanks. I'll send you a note when it wraps up.
You got it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
No one's allowed in here. Get out. Get. Big one.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
I'm coming to the meeting I really shouldn't be tonight, just so you should know.
You've told me already. It was
I
at the
know.
request of the presenters.
All right. Still should have put it pushed off, but okay. Actually, she's got a phone with him, actually.
This is that nursing home that hopefully will pay him a lot of money.
You're already on?
Huh?
You're already on? Let me just take off, turn on the camera for you.
Eric, you guys, you're not muted.
Okay, yeah. Is that better for you? Is that a better layout?
It's fine, as long as I can see. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Excellent.
Everyone else is doing well as well.
Good evening, everyone. A lot of
Good evening.
a lot of people here. I thought I will be the first one, but we are here before the even meeting started.
Um,
Look at you, Sean.
Hi there. We have two of the we have one co-chair who might be running late. We have two of the four co-chairs here. I'm going to do one email, text to another one. I'm going to mute, and then I'll defer to Greg and Melissa when we start, maybe 6:01-ish.
Yeah, we'll wait another minute here to see if one or the other co-chairs makes it before we start here.
We had an elevator outage, pseudo emergency that Patricia and the community board office helped us solve today in our building. So I filled in all of our residents about tonight's meeting as well. Said you can always get more involved.
Oh, good. Thank you for doing that. And yeah, sorry that you too had something big to deal with, because that's just going around these days. Okay.
All right.
Jarrell's
we-
in the midst of joining us, so
Oh,
if you
okay, great.
he's got some WebEx issue, like imagine that. So
All right. Give him just one more minute here, and if not, we can get things started, I guess, and then he can
there
jump
he
in
is.
there. Oh, perfect. Okay. Hey, Jarrell, how are you?
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So I think we'll just do it the way we had talked about, where I'll just sort of get it kicked off, and I'll turn it over to you so you can introduce Eric. Does that make sense? All right. I guess we can go ahead and get started then. I think someone's out there that's not on mute that has a little background noise. I don't know.
Jarrell Gray or Gerald Gray, could you mute, please?
No, Roisin, we'll take this. Jarrell is actually one of the co-chairs of this committee, so we'll keep Jarrell
got it.
And Greg. You can stay unmuted, and I think the other person I got him. So ready, set, go.
All right, great. All right, so good evening, everybody. This is a joint meeting tonight of both the Human Services and Housing and Land Use Committees. I am Greg Alvarez. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Housing and Land Use Committee, along with Melissa Minnick. And then we also have our co-chairs for the Human Services Committee, both Yvette Clerjean, who's going to be joining us shortly, but we do have Gerald Gray on the line with us. We have two speakers tonight. And I think to kick us off, I'm going to turn it over to you, Jarrell, to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Pletnick, if you may, and then we'll proceed with his presentation. And then after that, I would suggest that Melissa, my co-chair, picks up from there, and then we'll introduce Ann Larkin, who is our planning fellow, and be talking about all things CB14 with us, or District 14 tonight, and City of Yes. But for now, I'll turn it over to you, Jarrell, so you can kick us off with the first presentation.
Yep. Once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Jarrell Gray, co-chair of the Human Service Committee. Excited to be joining forces with the Housing and Land Use Committee to bring you this committee meeting this evening. So first, I think I see him on the call already, Mr. Eric Palatnik. He's going to be having a presentation about the program, services, and preliminary plan for something going on in our district, 1455 Coney Island Avenue, the Sephardic Community Health Center. So, Eric, I'm just going to pass it off to you. Feel free to come on camera and unmute yourself and take it away.
Sure, you should be able to see me. I have two. Thank you, Jarrell, very much for the introduction, and thank you everybody for the time. Hopefully, you can see me. I have two cameras on. I have two devices on, and I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. So, bear with me for a second. That seems like it was easy enough. See if that worked. And now I've shared the screen of me sharing you. So that's okay. You all should be able to see the screen right now that has a presentation up on it. You should be able to hear me, and it looks like it sounds like it's doing okay. All right, great. So thank you very much for having myself here, but more importantly, the Sephardic Community Health Center, a registered not-for-profit that is excited to redevelop what was formerly a nursing home and a health-related facility with what will be a brand new health-related facility and really what's called a long-term care facility under zoning. The property, the reason we're here tonight is because the property is located within an R5 zoning district. R5 C23, actually, to be specific, and a C23 is the overlay, the commercial overlay, but R5 is the important part. R5 is a very low density zoning district that really only allows for garden apartment style homes. It's not really suitable for Coney Island Avenue, and more importantly, it's not suitable for today's day and age when you're seeing a need for much more services, many more social services in the community, and taller buildings around us on Coney Island Avenue, as well as all around on the larger avenues throughout the city. This block is being held back because the zoning is outdated. So we're here tonight to ask you for a zoning change, and the zoning change that we're seeking to ask will ultimately allow for the 9-story building you see in front of you. But I have it here that outlines what we're doing a little bit so you could see the proposal. The left side is what's there now. The middle describes the actions that we're asking for from city planning, the actual actions. And the right side is the proposed development. Now, none of this is anything that you have to act on tonight. We have prepared the application, we have submitted it to city planning. We are not yet certified. This is an introductory meeting. We're here to hear what your concerns are. We're here to hear what you think about it. We understand it's a tall building where there is no tall building now. But we're hoping by the time you're done listening to us, and myself and some other people who I'll introduce right now, who are really a great team that are trying to do something incredibly altruistic for the community. And the people that are involved are on the phone with us now, on the call. One is Shimmy Pellman. Now, Shimmy and Jonathan Pellman, they're a father-son team that based out of Queens. Shimmy himself has sat on a community board for many years, and I'll let him speak later, and he'll be happy to jump in. But he runs nursing homes. That's what he does. And he has teamed up, him and Jonathan. They have teamed up with Michael Haddad, who's on the phone, and Moishe Edelman, who's on the phone, and I don't know who else is on the phone from their organization, probably a few other people who are local people who have put together the charitable component of it, the not-for-profit component of it. And they're teamed up with Shimmy, who has the experience, and Jonathan, to create a state-of-the-art long-term care facility in the community that's essentially replacing the one that was there, but really creating something that doesn't exist right now. And that's the justification for the request as far as our program goes. The right side of the screen shows you that. It describes to you what we're doing. 9 stories tall, 157,000 square feet, 300 beds, comprised of 240 skilled nursing beds and 60 assisted living beds. It will be eligible for Medicare, Medicaid, and private pay. So nobody will be rejected from it. It will be available to everybody. We'll have 28 parking spaces, and we are disappointed to tell you that from Shimmy's experience and my own experience working with organizations such as his, not very many people come to visit people in these facilities. So the 28 parking spaces we feel should be more than adequate. And we'll go through the people that come and work there and how they get there and jobs that we're going to be creating. And just at the outset, to let you know, the jobs that will be created will be substantial. Shimmy go through the numbers, and there'll be a lot of local hiring. There'll be seniors brought in from other nursing homes that they're working at that'll be managing, but there'll be the opportunity for growth and for people to grow within the organization and to build a lifetime career within the building. So we're hoping that by creating both something that's for the community, by the community, and employees, people in the community, that's somewhat hopefully overcoming a bit of anybody's concerns that may have over the height. These maps that I have up on the page are showing you the zoning districts that we're existing and proposing. The existing is R5. It's on the left. That's, you can see the big R5 right here. The right side, you see the big R5, but you see we carved out what's called the C4 5D over there. And the C4 5D is consistent with what's going on Avenue K. So we're not asking you for something that's so out of whack with the area. It's just that the zoning on this property and this stretch of Coney Island Avenues has been so out of whack for all of our lifetimes that maybe some people might have gotten used to the fact that, you know, all the other boulevards have expanded and Coney is kind of, you know, laid slightly dormant. Uh, you can see here what we're asking for. This gives you all of the numbers, and we could share this with you in a hard copy version or electronically, so everybody on this call can have it. The left side, you can see what I told you before. It's Garden Apartments. It's a 2.0 FAR. It's a 55-foot maximum height, and that's after some setbacks. The right side is what we're asking for. It's a 5.6 FAR, 125-foot maximum height. We're not asking to go 125 feet. We're asking to be at 95 feet. And we'd be happy to make an agreement that locks us in at that height if that's something that people in the community wanted to see. The right side here shows you everything I just told you about. Here's the site in all of its splendor. There were trucks parked on there. We apologize for that. They're gone. The site was slightly unkempt. It's clean now, and if it becomes unkempt again, we'd like to know about it if you feel it is, and we will take care of it immediately, but that's not your responsibility. Everybody on the call is aware of the concerns that people had raised, and everybody on the call is committed themselves to make sure the site will not be unkempt, and hopefully as snow has fallen, my guys are not letting me down, and somebody went out there and shoveled it and iced it and did everything that should be done on the sidewalks, and if that's not done, let us know on this call, and somebody will be out there. Well, it's melting now, but they'll be out there for every storm that comes, and they should have been out there already. I don't need to show you too much of the character of the neighborhood, other than the fact that you can see here. You know, there are taller buildings to our left, somewhat taller buildings. What you can't see is going to show you is the tall building in the lower right corner that's brand new, and we'll show you that in a minute. This is everything we've been talking about. I'm just repeating myself here, but just so there's no confusion of what we're doing. And these are all the numbers, and I'm not going to repeat it. I'm just going to sort of speed up a little bit so I don't waste too much of your time tonight. This is what the building will look like, is looking at in a section. There'll be a sub-cellar and a cellar. There'll be parking on both, primarily at the sub-cellar level, but there'll be an entrance through the first floor with a ramp down. And this is a section. I'll show you a better section in a second that gives you an idea of it. Uh, you can see here where I said we're 95 feet tall. This is the building I was referring to, this Gush Construction. I'm sure you're all very familiar with it. 150 feet right across the street from us. So we're certainly not as gregarious as that. And hopefully what we're doing inside compensates somewhat for the height of our building. Uh, the slide here shows you transit. I don't need to tell all of you that we are not on a subway. You could see here the zoning district and the proposal. This is all just technical stuff. This is all demographics we put in just to show who's living in the community and who the development would be created to service. This is really created more for an affordable housing development, but it does show you the demographics of the community. This also was created to show you the demographics of the community. And what this is showing you is that 13.3% of the residents of Brooklyn, District 14, are 65 and over, actually 20,000 people. And there's actually been a decertification in nursing homes, beds throughout the state, within the area, within the state actually. And there are no rehab facilities in Midwood. And the closest one that is nearby was built in 1971. So as you can see, this is not something that anybody is running to do or to create. It's certainly not being done by too many not-for-profits, and there are certainly no state-of-the-art facilities nearby. Uh, Kind of depressing when you think about it. I mean, we're in the middle of, you know, the most modernized, greatest city and borough that ever existed. But, uh, you know, we've got some catching up to do. The right side just sort of tells you everything that we were just talking about. sort of supports the request. Uh, this gives you an idea of the type of amenities. I'm glad they're playing backgammon. I happen to like backgammon. But you can see here, the right side is the rooftop outdoor recreational area. The idea of this whole facility is to give residents the ability, not only and patients, not only to have the opportunity to get treated, but to do so in an environment that supports the treatment that they are receiving. And that includes making the place as comfortable and as normalized as it could possibly be, including, as you can see here, a coffee shop, the rooftop terrace, dining rooms, communal worship spaces for people, giving people opportunities to still do what they do in their normal lives, but they just happen to have to be here. Uh, the development, this is all just what I was just talking to you about a moment ago. 1508 Coney Island Avenue is obviously large. We are mimicking that to some extent, although not quite as large, but we're large, but we're 50 feet. We're a little bit shorter than they are. But having said that, we're still big. This is all of the jazz that's going for the environmental, the conscious design of the facility. And Greg is the architect. He's on the call with us. He can go through this with you in further detail if anybody's interested in learning about these components of it. I'll skim through the plans to give you an idea. You can see the building. Greg really outdid himself. He tried to create something that's significant, substantial, recognize the importance of what's going on within it, is transparent so you could see what's going on within the building. He's not trying to create a fortress or a wall that just blocks out the community. Quite the opposite, trying to bring residents outside and people that live in the community the ability to see the life that's going on within the building. That includes incredibly lush landscaping around the front of the building. You could see that. That is intended to be created, maintained, and will exist in reality. You can see there's a coverage over the front door that's architecturally significant, meant to make a statement, meant to let people know this is a safe place. You can come here in the rain. It's also meant to cover people when they're coming in and out of cars and vehicles and things to get in and out. There'll be obviously people coming here, they're not moving at a good clip. So it protects them from the elements. And then you can see the playful design he's done with the building setting in and out as you go along it, breaking up the facade, different materials, different shapes, all sort of just trying to break up the idea that it's a tall building. I think doing a much better job of it than they did over here. I mean, I think you're looking at two totally different philosophies on how to create a building that blends within the community. Uh, and they really did spend a lot of time to try to create something, knowing that they're coming to you with something that's very big. So they wanted it to be very special, not just so that you're happy with it, but so that it lasts for, it's meant to last for generations. So it's got to be something that people are going to want to see. The right-hand side shows you the parking area I was talking about before. People will be able to come in under the building and be able to get out comfortably. Uh, Now this starts to get into the boring part for those who are plan oriented. This is the plans of the building. You could see that the portico in the front that I spoke about, the awnings are right here with all the crisscross applesauce stuff, as the kids would say. And then the building is 9 stories tall here. It calls it a penthouse. There's no penthouse in this building. It's the top floor that walks out onto the outdoor recreation area here. That's just an over eager draftsman calling it the penthouse. There will be a terrace at the second floor in the back. So there'll be an open area here for people to step out and enjoy outdoor fresh air when it's nice out. And there'll also be one up on the roof. Uh, This is the building in section. On the left side shows you what I was talking about, the second floor terrace that people can walk out to in the back, and then the building rises straight up. It's a 34-foot rear yard. 30 feet is what is required. And then they'll rises up. This is, like I said, the mechanical penthouse rooftop recreation. That's a mechanical area and then an exit to the rooftop recreation area. And I'll show you that in greater detail in a second.
Actually, Mr. Play,
Yeah.
why don't I stop you for a second? We just want to
Sure.
sort of maybe reset here. Sorry, Gerald, I just wanted to jump in here for a second because I think in terms of the expectations for this evening, I think we weren't as a board maybe completely aligned with the community health center's intent for your presentation tonight. Um, I,
Sure.
our expectation for tonight, because we know this application has not been certified yet, so there's no action that we can take tonight, which you properly said, and we're probably going to have to reset again and schedule a public hearing once we get to that point. But for us this evening, what we were hoping for a little bit was from the community health center themselves to sort of set the stage for us, so
Oh,
we
sure.
so we can
They'd
sort
love
of
to.
so we can understand exactly what their mission is, what their
Say no
programs are.
more. I would
Okay.
love to shut up. I do nothing but talk all the time, and then
No,
I
no,
get
no,
come
no,
home.
no, no, no.
So
We appreciate the preview of Cubby Detractions, but I think just to maybe set the stage and provide us some context first,
that's
it might be
great.
helpful to go there in that direction.
Michael Haddad, why don't you be the master of ceremonies and do your thing, and then introduce your team?
Okay, I want to thank everybody for their time and their patience with us. Thank you, Eric. I want to introduce our team. Heading our management is Simon Pellman, otherwise known as Shimmy. Shimmy will speak in a few minutes, and he has a pristine reputation within the nursing home management community. Also involved is his son Jonathan, who is being groomed to take over Shimmy's position, and is also extremely upstanding and a 5-star operator. Moshe Edelman, who is my right hand, who has brought this project that we've been working on for close to 7 years now to help me bring it to fruition. And Eric, as you all know, our attorney, and that's our team.
Do you want to maybe go through, Michael, the program a little bit, your organization, Sepharda Community Health Center, what your
Sure.
mission is, how you came to be, who you all are, where you come from, uh,
Yes.
and basically, I think that's, if I'm hearing Greg correctly, that he wants to hear you,
Okay.
like give us the best Michael, like your website. You guys got the website. You're all chattering for hours. You got videos. You got like give him your spiel. Give him the passion of
Good.
what got you to do this.
Good.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you, Eric. That's exactly what we're looking for tonight. I think we just want to know who you are, and then we can sort of get into the more granular details of
excellent.
your
So,
proposal.
notwithstanding my wife laughing in the background, so let's I'm probably gonna mute her. So my name is Michael Haddad. I'm 62 years old. I've been living in this area for my entire life. I have my children and my grandchildren also in the area. We own several homes also in the area, and we are looking to establish a nursing home and assisted living facility that is extremely necessary in the area because there's just nothing catering to our community within, let alone driving distance, walking distance. And this property was originally a nursing home. They actually moved those beds over to a larger facility over in Crown Heights. And we have been, as I said, working for about 7 years on this project. We are a not-for-profit. We are strictly altruistic, looking to better serve the community and to bring a level of service that Shimmy and Jonathan can provide, which is a 5-star.
Well, that's probably a good spot to cut you off and go to Shimmy or Jonathan. Shimmy and Jonathan, you want to talk about your other facilities, your experiences, your Shimmy, maybe your time you spent on the other community boards, so people can understand your empathy towards what their concerns and operations could be, and what other facilities you operate, how many years you've been doing it, Shimmy. I think you said you just started last week, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, and a community board member for over 40 years. So, Shimmy, you're muted if you don't mind unmuting. No, you're muted.
Where'd Devora go? He's got to go get Devora now. Only
I want-
Devora knows how to push the button.
Community Board 14, I want to thank you so much for hosting us and for listening to our application. Thank you.
No, thank you. And while we're waiting for your next representative, maybe you can just tell us a little. I understand there's, you're expressing the need for community for this facility, but what's drawn you to partner with your folks here to proceed?
Can
with
you
this
guys hear me
project?
now?
Yes, we hear you now. So let me answer Greg's question. So we wanted to see, Greg, best in class management. And after going through probably about 10 different management companies, we focused on Shimmy and Jonathan because they are really the only 5-star operator within New York State. They specifically operate in Queens, where they have 2 facilities, but clearly Queens and Brooklyn are very similar, and they understand that constituency. So we totally nixed anybody that had 3 or 4 stars because we really want to bring best in class, and Shimmy and Jonathan are clearly best in class. Okay, Shimmy, you're on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Yes.
so my name is Simon Pellman. My friends call me Shimmy. I've been involved in healthcare since before all of you were born, 1970. I have a master's in it. I have 2 advanced degrees in it. I operated a 400-bed facility in downtown Brooklyn. I got permission to build 2 280-bed facilities, one in Queens and one in Nassau County. I'd love for you guys to take a look at our website and see how well we do. They're all union. They provide fantastic care, but we also provide jobs for community members. The average person who lives within 10 miles of our area works for us. In other words, we go out and find people who live in the neighborhood. Also, our population for residents and patients are within a 5-mile zone. The majority of our people are community residents. We don't discriminate. We take everyone that's eligible from a medical, psychological, and social point of view. We provide 24 hours skilled care in the nursing home and the same thing in the assisted living. If you look at our facility in Queens, it's a 280-bed facility. It's a 9-story facility. It has basically the same type of structure in terms of the garden on the top, garden on the side, and it's involved with the community board. Community board 7 used to meet in there before COVID. My Meadowbrook Care Center in Freeport is also a 280-bed facility, a 5-star facility. If you go to the website, meadowbrookcarecenter.com, you will see what we provide. We're a rehab. We're a facility who does many different things. Unfortunately, we do have dementia patients. When I say unfortunately, because they don't need as much nursing, they need more socialization. They need more recreation. They need to be busy. That is that type of group that we cater to. We also provide short-term rehab, and we spend a tremendous amount of time on physical, occupational, speech therapy, getting people back into the community. In one of our facilities, we have a car in the room because people have to learn to get in and out of the car also. That's how you transverse your neighborhood. This is a perfect neighborhood for that for 2 reasons. One, there's tremendous amount of transportation. 2, there's a tremendous population of seniors that unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, need our services. I have been involved in the community for many, many, many years. I've been on the community board for 44 years. I'm very active in the civic. I'm very active in the political world because I found that the rules and regulations that are promulgated are made by people who really don't have a major background in healthcare. And so what I try to do is educate all of the elected officials, bring them in, show them what we do. In fact, we pride ourselves in having, unfortunately, had to take care of many of the elected officials' fathers, uncles, sisters, brothers. And we don't have complaints from them. They actually like us and recommend us. Um, my son, who grew up in this community, grew up in our nursing home environment because my wife was a PhD clinical psychologist, ran Union Plaza Nursing Home. So he grew up every night hearing the problems, the rules, the regulations that go into long term care. So now that he's 41, through osmosis, he has picked up a tremendous amount. In reality, as I always tell people, I thought I was good till I met him. He is much better than I am. He has a fantastic grasp. He knows how to deal with relatives, families, patients, staff,
Can we mute
unions.
him again or?
I'm sorry?
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, don't tell him too much. He'll ask for a raise. Anyway, um, we feel we were brought in for our expertise, and we have that. I've been an administrator since 1971, involved since 1970. My son has been there for at least 10 years, so he has tremendous background in this. Um, if you go up to Albany, a public health council, and you say, "Oh, you're working with Simon Pellman," you don't get a pass, but you don't get a negative. You go, "Okay, we know he knows what he's doing. His team knows what he's doing." The other advantage is I have a tremendous group of people that work for me that I could bring in as a consultant, as some staff to help open this facility so that the amount of work that we can bring to the table immediately will make the residents, the family, the community, and the state feel safe that we're bringing quality to the table. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
All right, I appreciate that. Okay, so again, just sort of trying to piece everything together for our understanding this evening. I'm going to turn back to you, Michael. So, in terms of the current community center, if I'm looking correctly, so your current facility is down Ocean Parkway, correct? Down around. Just looking at the address here, it's like towards Avenue T, I guess, Avenue S, Avenue T, something down there on Ocean Parkway. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, could you tell us then a little bit about, your, your current center? I mean, it's I guess it's located just outside our district, but then what's your intent then in terms of how the two of you are going to, sort of intersperse all of this together? So the plans for this new, assisted living facility within our district with your community center and all the programs that you have there. What's going to be I guess, the so-called synergy between the two of you?
The synergy between me and Shimmy?
Correct.
Okay, so Shimmy brings a management expertise that I clearly do not have. I'm well versed with the area. Again, like I said, 62 years living in the area. And he brings the management expertise. I bring the local expertise. So I know very much the landscape of the demographic of the area. We want to cater to the entire community. And this is a facility that's really sorely needed because the closest nursing home in the area is probably about 5 or 6 miles away, which in living in Brooklyn, and traveling 5, 6 miles is like living in Montana and traveling probably about 40 miles. So it's a different demographic than the rest of the population, and we want to cater to our community intrinsically.
Understood. Understood. Okay, so just in terms of your existing community center, does it have any current dealings? Does it serve any of Community 14 residents? Just so we understand that as well, just so we have a sort of flavor about
Michael,
your current operation.
Michael, he's talking about the Sephardic Center on Avenue T, the Sephardic Center on Ocean Parkway and Avenue T, on Avenue West. That's what he's talking about. It's not related.
Okay. Oh, it's
Yeah,
not
we're,
related.
we're,
I'm
we're
sorry.
not related
Totally
in
unrelated.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry. That's my mistake. All right. So your current operations are located where then?
And we don't have a specific area that we're operating out of right now.
Okay, understood. All right. So that helps me clear that up as well.
We're looking to operate out of that proposed site on Coney Island
Correct.
Avenue.
Yeah, let me clarify. I see where this is going. You might have been a little confused. They're not affiliated with an existing facility. They're creating a new one. They're
Understood.
taking the facility that was at this location was operated by Centers Healthcare.
Okay.
Centers Health created another facility in Crown Heights about 5 years ago. When they did that, they moved all the beds from here because this place was outdated. It was a bowling alley originally. It was a mess. Not a mess, but it was not purpose built for this, and it was old. So that's why they left that. They vacated that. Michael and his organization saw the void that was left as a result of that leaving the community and made a pitch to get control of the property, which they did. And that's when they assembled the team and they interviewed people and they got Shimmy involved and his son Jonathan. And that's when how the whole thing came together. So it's
yeah,
new. Go on, sorry.
So, Greg, Moshe and I have been on this, like I said, for about 7 or 8 years now.
Understood.
And I've been funding this entire thing out of pocket, and I'm doing it to give back to the community that's given me so much, and it's sorely needed in the area.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with you there. Okay, so Eric had provided us just sort of a general overview, more from I'd say a zoning perspective, perhaps, in terms of what the proposal will bring, along with some of the other details as well. So, in terms of the offerings for the assisted living facility, who's sort of the intended I guess, sort of the target audience, so to speak, for your future residents and the other folks who will be using this facility?
So it would be a mix of the current
Hang
demographic
on one
of
second,
the area.
Michael, let Shimmy answer because Shimmy,
I'm
you have
sorry.
you have all the procedures that are in place that
So in the facilities that I presently are involved, we take most of our residents from the local neighborhood. And our demographic is based on a 5-mile circumference, and that's where 90% of the residents will come from. We don't discriminate. We don't disillusion people. We tell them we'll take you if you're qualified medically, and if you are looking for a facility for rehab, we'll take care of you. If you're looking for a facility for socialization, we'll take care of you. If you're looking for a facility that is a long-term care facility, which unfortunately some people spend years there, that's who we take care of. Jonathan, who is the operation manager of all of my facilities, will tell you that if you assemble a team that understands your community, for instance, in Queens, 90% of our residents are Asian, Korean, Chinese, etc. As a result, 80% of our staff speaks different languages, including Korean, Chinese, and other languages, because we have to be able to communicate with the people that we care for. We're very cognizant of who we are, what we are. I mean, coming into this neighborhood, I ran a facility in downtown Brooklyn. So I had, at that time, 120 Chinese patients. And we went to the Chinatown Planning Council and asked them to come in and advise us. And they gave us staff and doctors in order that we could speak to those residents. This is going to be the same type of operation. We will determine based on our mix what kind of staff that we need, what kind of physician we need, what kind of transfer agreements we need. This facility will be not only state of the art, but understand it's going to be a nonprofit. So I'm not going to be looking to see at the end of the year to give out dividends. Instead, we will take, if there is any money, and reinvest it in the facility, hire more staff, present more programs, do the kind of things that the community needs, because that's going to be our focus. And the fact that Michael asked me to come in, and we had a meeting with the health department in Albany, and they were very pleased with our team because they realized that Michael was trying to put together a 5-star team, a team that was proven already, that had the know-how, had the reputation, had the ability to bring nothing but wonderful tidings, care, socialization to our community. We want to be part of our community. We want to tell people, wow, come on in, take a look, see who we're taking care of. Take a look, be part of a parents, grandparents, next generation. We want everyone to be happy with what we do. Understand this is needed. If you look around in that neighborhood where the next nursing home is, there's one on Avenue C and Ocean Parkway. There's another one way down in Sheepshead Bay. There's another one in, I'm just trying to figure out by the
Coney Island.
demographics how
Coney
far
Island.
we are. In a 10-mile radius, I don't see any other nursing homes. Michael, do you know any other nursing homes within?
The closest one is in Seagate, which is the very tip of Coney Island, which is probably about 7 or 8 miles away.
Brooklyn is way underserved. The amount of seniors in Brooklyn compared to the number of nursing home beds that are provided is inadequate. This will serve the needs of the community, the needs of the seniors, the needs of people who have to reach out to us. Listen, no one is sentenced to a nursing home. They come to a nursing home because they have a need for a nursing home. In most of our facilities, we provide tremendous amount of rehab, and after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, we send those people home. Some people, unfortunately, don't have the ability to go home. And those are also people that we cater to. Some people, unfortunately, have dementia. We cater to them also. We understand how to handle them. We're not fly by night. We're not here that we just showed up. I've been doing this for my entire adult life, and I'm very proud of what I do. I sleep at night. I'm not corporate. I don't have 400 nursing homes, therefore I have to watch each one. I have 2. Union Plaza Nursing Home, and you can look that up, Meadowbrook Care Center, and you can look it up. I'm very proud of what we do. I'm very proud of my staff because I'm only as good as my weakest link. And thank God there aren't any weak links.
Shimmy, you forgot about the Nursing Home Association.
Well, they made me president of the association because my reputation and my ability to go to meet with the governor, meet with the mayor, meet with elected officials allows us to explain what we need and how we need it. You know, I meet with 1199, which provides unionization and care for the majority of the nursing homes in New York City and the majority of nursing homes in New York State. You need to be able to deal with the families. But guess what? If your staff is happy, if your staff is satisfied, if they're making a living, they will take care of the people that we are entrusted with. If, on the other hand, we try to cheat, we try to denigrate them, we try to undercut them, it reflects in patient care. That's not something I will tolerate.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that added background, that context we were definitely looking for this evening as well. So just to clarify, everybody, this is sort of a preview of an application that will be coming before us in public hearing form once it is certified before DCP, right? That's the current status of your
correct.
application. Okay, great. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry for hijacking Jarrell, by the way. I just sort of jumped in there
No,
in the middle there.
you're good. I do have just one question. I do want to
I'm
thank
going to turn it back over to you. Yes, please.
Mike for the presentation. My dad currently is in the veterans nursing facility, which isn't the best and hasn't the best standards. So just hearing about the state of the art facility that you have been running and planning to bring to the neighborhood, I also do appreciate that. I just want to ask one last question. I think Shimmy, you just clarified it's going to be a long term and short term. You're going to have both types of patients who are going to be staying there long term, but also short term that could get discharged after a month or a few weeks. Do you all also expect the presence of just, I know there's going to be private transportation ambulances for people that might have dialysis or have to, be transferred to other appointments across the borough. So I just wanted to hear you talk through that. What's the expectations for those type of patients that might need the care? Are you going to provide dialysis, or there's other places that people will be transported to and from?
Shimmy,
You're muted.
I think my
You're
father's muted
you're
again, but
muted again,
right
Jimmy.
now there's no plan to have on-site dialysis. But yes, we definitely will take residents that need to be dialyzed and be able to transport them. And I just want to add, to what my father said. As he mentioned, I grew up in this. Both my father and my mother are nursing home administrators. I'm a nursing home administrator. My grandfather, my sister. So it's something that we do. I think that one of the fears that people have with nursing homes, especially now, is that a lot of private equity has come into them. And so it's a thing that is very profit generated. And in fact, all of our other facilities that we operate are for profit. So this was a very refreshing thing to have people walk in and say, hey, do you want to be involved in a non-for-profit thing? And just meeting Moshe and Michael and the types of people that they are, that they spent years and years and years working on this project and no personal gain, really just for the families and the community's sake. I said to my father, we're very different than a lot of the other operators because we make so much less money than them because we put so much back into the facility on the care side, the way the building looks, to keep it clean, to keep it smell free, to pay the staff. We give raises every year. And I said, I actually think most of our facilities are non-for-profits already. So this kind of fits very similar into what we're doing and to that level of care. So definitely, if your father's in a veterans facility, we're going to have to work on getting him over here because we're going to definitely take much better care than they could do over there.
All right. No, don't think
We
you could tell
also
me on
intend, we
but
also
no, for
intend
sure.
on,
I think
sorry.
no, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, we also intend on providing transportation for families who don't have, the ability to to come visit their family members on their own. The facility will be providing transportation, potentially also for employees who need to get to and from as well. So that's another service we anticipate providing.
Oh, awesome. So we do have another presentation after this, but I do want to thank you all for joining the call and being very diligent about letting us know what can and potentially be coming to our neighborhood pretty soon. And I'm sure we're going to be in contact with you over the next, few years. So thank you for you all for the presentation, letting us know. Greg, I'll pass it back over to you and Melissa if there's any more questions or
No, but again, I also want to thank you all for taking the time to hear us out. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, and yeah, we'd certainly appreciate the information that Eric had been working off of at the beginning, just to kind of give us a preliminary view. Unfortunately, we're not really able at this time to specifically comment on the plan, but we're happy to receive that plan and start that work to be able to start looking over some of the details so that we're ready once you come back to us for the public hearing.
Well, we also hope that all of you will come visit often and take a look at what we do, because we intend to use you as a referral for staff, for families, for residents, because the community is the one that decides how good we do. And that is very important to us. I told you, Community Board 7 in Queens meets in my nursing home because I know how important it is for the community to be involved. And if there's anything I can do with your community board, Community Board 14, I'd be very happy to be part of you. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Okay, so at this time, then, just in the interest of proceeding through our agenda, I'm going to turn it over to my co-chair on the Housing and Land Use Committee, Melissa Minnick, and she will be introducing our next speakers, or our next speaker, I'm sorry, with our next agenda item.
Right.
Thank you so much, Greg. So our next agenda item, we are going to be hearing from our New York City Community Planning Fellow that we have with us for the year. And her name is Anne. She's going to have to correct me if I'm wrong if she goes by Annie.
Anne or Annie.
Okay, either one. But Anne Larkin. And she's taking a look at the city of Yes. A few people might have heard about this and this nice and big thing that we had to go through a year or so ago, but specifically looking at how that is affecting and planning, going to affect the district of Community Board 14 and what that looks like. So Anne or Annie, whichever you prefer, please. Thank you for being here, and so the floor is yours.
All right, I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Is everyone seeing that?
Yep.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Annie. I'm currently a master's student of urban planning at NYU Wagner. I'm also a community planning fellow at the Fund for the City of New York, and I'm just going to talk a bit about City of Yes today. So the project that I'm working on with Community Board 14 is analyzing the impact of City of Yes on the district. I'm essentially going to ask, what would the district look like if everything from City of Yes was implemented, and kind of how do they overlap? City of Yes is broken into three components: housing, housing opportunity, economic opportunity, and carbon neutrality. Housing opportunity will add low to medium density around transit and commercial corridor. This is what I will be primarily focusing on tonight and in my project. Economic opportunity will create town centers. It's going to add streetscapes, and it will allow for new business growth. And then finally, carbon neutrality essentially amends zoning to allow for more solar panels and electric vehicle chargers. My goal is to produce maps detailing these possibilities to see exactly what the change and the impact is going to look like. This is just a brief overview of housing, but the district is primarily zoned low to medium density, and the majority of the district is zoned for 1 and 2 family homes. There are 4 historic districts, and the home ownership rate is 21%, which is slightly lower than the Brooklyn average of 28.7%. There's over 68,000 units in the entire district. For the commercial, 4.3% of the district is zoned commercial. You can see it's primarily kind of along Flatbush and Coney Island. There's 250 vacant storefronts, which is around 11% of the district, and there's over 37,100 jobs that's generated from the commercial. If the district decides to take no action with City of Yes, there still will be some low-level development. There's currently around 86 buildings that are either under construction or just completed construction, which is going to bring 1,800 units. You can see from the map on the right the distribution of the housing or the new construction in the district. Most of it is around kind of the northern end and around Flatbush. 8% of the units in larger buildings are built for low-income tenants. And as of 2023, the median rent is $1,750, although we can expect it to be a little bit higher at this point. If the district does decide to take action with City of Yes, it can expect more increased density because CB14 lies in the greater transit zone. This is going to legalize 3 to 5 story buildings near transit, as well as along commercial corridors. You can see from the map on the right the distribution of kind of housing size in the district. It is also going to get rid of parking requirements for zone 4 and above. City of Yes legalizes ADUs, so small secondary homes of around 800 feet maximum can be added. This can be garages, attics. Basements do require a separate legalization process. It's important to note that the historic districts are exempted from ADU legalization. And then finally, City of Yes does include universal affordable preference. This is geared towards generating more affordable units, and it allows developers to increase building bulk by 20% if those added units are held at 60% AMI. So for a one bedroom, that is, or someone needs to make around $68,000 to qualify. You can see from the map that the majority of universal affordable preference will be kind of applicable in the northern part and along Ocean. So these are some of the things I'm going to be looking at in my project, and I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone and coming to some of these meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Annie. Were there any questions from anybody about that?
Not a question. Just wanted to say hi, Annie. Proud and what you're planning alone. So dope to see you doing the work in my neighborhood. So
It's nice to meet you.
Excellent. I'm seeing Kirsty and then also one from Greg.
I'll defer to Christy first, please. Christy first. Oh, I think you're on mute.
It's still not, sorry.
Yeah. Hi, thanks for that. Hi, Annie. Nice to see you. Thank you for your work so far. This is a question I don't expect you to answer today, but as you continue your work, with the affordable housing component, I want to see how the additional 20% bulk, if I have that correctly, height, etc., will manifest in buildings, because we have a sense when we're familiar with zoning, like what the height is permitted without affordable housing, and now with the universal affordable, it just seems like will be able to be added anywhere someone can put together a development program that includes the 60% AMI, if I'm getting those. The gist of my question is, in your work, I look forward to whether it's some kind of modeling of this. We've had one project at Newkirk and Argyle that was able to add 2 stories unexpectedly before City of Yes. So I kind of see that as, gee, is this going to be possible in more sites? So that's my question. Thank you.
I think my basic understanding is that, let's say for a 55-foot building, which is around 5 stories, it'll allow another floor, floor and a half. So it doesn't add a ton of more kind of height, but will probably bring at least additional couple units. But that's also something I'm hoping to dig into in the coming months. Thank you for the question.
I think Greg, and then it's like Rosen. I might be saying your name wrong.
Okay, great. Thanks, Melissa. And thank you, Annie, for your presentation. Looking forward, definitely, to the results. I think just sort of looking ahead, I think most interesting, for me will be, what are sort of the ways in which, from your work, we're going to be able to I guess, prospectively going to be, understanding what types of things to to sort of anticipate, what types of developments to anticipate. Just to Kirsty's point as well, sort of those surprises that we rather than be surprised, I think to sort of understand exactly practically how things are going to work out. So one thing I was just sort of thinking about was a lot of talk during City of Yes, and a lot of concern has been particularly along the the wide streets, the streets where a lot of activity could happen. I think in some of your mapping, you had showed it as well, in terms of the district. Um, concerns about what about existing homes that maybe not aren't protected under our historic districts and things like that that are going to be replaced, and change the whole character along those routes. I mean, is there anything just preliminarily you think you're seeing, in terms of sort of the big picture stuff that's sort of jumping out at this point? So just as a preview of coming attractions to what we can expect from your work. I don't know if that's a little too amorphous, but just sort of things to keep an eye out for as you're going through here, and just things that maybe are just popping out for you initially.
I think my initial thought is it looks like there's going to be more impact in the southern part of the district, so more along kind of the single and two family homes or the smaller apartment buildings than, for example, like I live up by Church, which already has quite a lot of development. And I think the thing I've been thinking about is if IBX gets built, what is that going to look like as well for kind of transit-oriented development? But yeah, I think this is very preliminary. My understanding is that is where character work is going to change the most, if it does change.
Thank you.
And I'll just jump in. This is Rosine. Hi, Annie. Very nice to see you, and looking forward to your work. I just had a quick question. It might have just been wording, but I think I heard you say if CB14 participates in City of Yes. Did you just mean like if people choose to change existing structures to be what's allowable, or could you just explain a little bit more about what you meant by that, or if I heard that incorrectly?
I think what I said is if CB14 implements City of Yes, but I think if that's right, if developers come and build, so not necessarily if we choose to. I mean, they're going to be allowed now to build up to, let's say, 5 stories on certain districts. So it's more like if we see, maybe a better way of saying is if we see that development happen.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that. And yeah, I'm most interested, if we can make helpful proposals or suggestions. I think I'm a very visual person, and sometimes when describing like what a 35-foot building looks like, and when people talk about contextual zoning or what the implications will be of some of the new height um, and the distance away from the existing sidewalk and existing roadway. So any sort of mock-ups that could be that you could use using real photographs of existing sites, and then what would be possible and what would be allowable would be very helpful, I think, as we're trying to understand what the zoning words are, and then what the practical implications and uses and contextual feel will be like. So best of luck in your work, and just a plug that as Jarrell said, there's a lot of folks on the community board who have backgrounds in urban planning. He and Kirsty and others. So I think that you'll find that it's a good group of folks to work with and engage with, and we're all very interested to see what you come up with. So good luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the notes. It's good to know.
Great. Well, thank you. If nobody else has any questions, I just have one thing I'll toss out there. I know when we first learned that we had you guys a planning fellow, and we're just kind of tossing out a couple ideas. One that came up was looking at some of the historic data around the Flatbush rezoning and back when that happened, and maybe looking at some of those historic notes of kind of what things look like around then, and just the context of everything that's happened since that time. And I don't know, just some more ideas and more things about how City of Yes and how further developments, what things look like in time frames with the city.
That sounds great. I
Yeah,
come from
I'll
a
jump in to
history.
say that I can provide more of a whole bunch of folders and files at the office for you. Any to, I don't know how much we touched upon that when we were talking about it. So for additional, like going back and setting a stage, we'll get that information to you. Carl also has a hand up.
Carl, please.
Sure. Hey, folks, good evening. And so, Annie, thank you very much for the slide deck. That's very interesting stuff. So I'll be brief. I have two questions. So, one of them is as you continue your work, it'll be interesting to see if you were able to find sources of more recent information regarding like median and average rent. And I'm especially interested if there's a way for you to find that distribution across the housing type. So like a 1 bedroom versus studio versus 2 bedroom versus 3 bedroom, because one of the things you may have heard is there's been a concern for a while now from several board members and also community members about where distribution of housing that is being built in apartment buildings is skewing more towards the individuals versus the families. And so as you're doing your research, if it's possible to see any sort of information like that, and then as you work on the scope, seeing where that fits into this work or not. And then the second question I have for you as well is when you finish your work, definitely sharing your methodology as well. And the reason I bring this up is because we have the ballot proposals that passed in the November election. And so they're not going to be implemented on January 1st, 2026, right? So there's no way for your work to see the impact, but it would be great for you to share your methodology just because when those things do go live, it would be good to see your methodology. And then that way for the CB14 group to see, okay, given the steps that this individual took, would we do the same steps or would we tweak certain steps to try and see what the potential impact could be within our district once those specific ballot proposals do go into effect?
Thank you.
Great. Anybody else?
Can I jump in, Melissa? Thanks. I didn't
Please
raise my
do.
hand. I'm sorry. I did put in the chat, I kind of double pasted it, but there is just to look back on a previous planning fellow did housing trends. So that might be a resource to jump off of as per Carl's comment. And I just want to, and I hope I can extend this invitation on your behalf, but to the extent that people have ideas and thoughts about what they, Annie and I have talked about the Venn diagram of all the City of Yes for economic opportunity, housing opportunity, and carbon neutrality, and then sort of like what a maximalist map would look like if everybody did everything that they could all at once. But if I thought there were some good ideas and good references in this conversation. So if things occur to you, just go ahead and shoot an email over and I'll share it with Annie, and she's already so far ahead of where I thought she'd be just in the preliminary glance at everything. So we'll make sure that we keep this challenging for her. Does that sound all right with you, Henny?
Sounds great. I'm really looking forward to kind of starting the project. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I just maybe jump in one more time too. Sorry. The thing I'm thinking of, sort of prospectively, once you have completed your work, like how can CB14 take that forward so that they have the tools to know what, number one, I think a big thing is monitoring, because so many of these are going to be as of right now. So to be able to keep track of the new projects that are coming into our district, just so at least we are aware of them, if not, going to be able to necessarily provide input on them, at least, at the DOB stage. So that's number one. And then I guess number two was just in thinking about the um, the available the available resources that are out there. The one that I always go back to, I don't know if they even still do it anymore, which was the Municipal Art Society, where they have their mapping, where they show just sort of the maximum build out of every property if you wanted to look at it, in the city, just sort of thinking out about it in that context, because then, I think as we were saying as well about, what that maximalist view looks like. I know that that's kind of how it was handled previously. That might be beyond might be beyond our scope, but it's something just to, I'm thinking prospectively, to use it as sort of our working template moving forward is sort of how I see it, at least as something that could be helpful for us moving forward. So just another thought to throw out there as you embark here.
Thank you.
That's it. I would say, yeah, definitely send any and all suggestions, thoughts, ideas Annie's way, and we'll make sure to keep you busy. That's all I'll say. I don't know. Do we have any other business moving on to with our agenda?
The only other thing I'd like to shout out is I'd like to call out Yvette, because she came to us a little late, but I just want to shout out our other co-chair in hosting this evening. So Yvette, if you just want to say hello to all of us as a co-chair of the Human Services Committee.
Thank you, Greg. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone has been finding this meeting to be very informative, as I have. And Annie, I look forward to more of your work and seeing how the City of Yes will be implemented and how it will potentially impact our district.
Right. All right. I guess I'll bookend things here and just say thank you all for attending this evening. So we have certainly a big project to look forward to. Sean, do you think we'll have the opportunity for you to obtain the deck that they were using this evening, just to kind of get a preview for that project for us? Or
Yeah, definitely. I'll reach out for that, and also like the link on the Zap portal as well, as we move forward to looking more at the structure of that facility in due time.
okay, great. All right. And with that, unless there are any other questions or concerns or comments at this time.
Well, I was just going to throw out there. I just dropped a link to the Hope Count, which is coming up on January 27th. I think before our next meeting. It says committees, but that's the city's big count, the homeless estimate count at least.
Thanks, Melissa, for sharing that here, and we'll get it on our website if it's not already there. I didn't check the website today. Oops,
it's on there.
Okay, yes,
I appreciate
CB14 staff, they're the best.
Yep.
All right, so I guess on behalf of Jarrell, Yvette, and Melissa, thank you all again, and good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.